Hey everyone, this is Music Tech Help Guy, and welcome to part 23 of my Music Theory for Producers course. In this video, I want to continue talking about 7th chords. I know we've been talking about 7th chords a lot in the last few videos. This will be the last video on 7th chords, and then we'll move on to other things. The reason why I want to do this video is because in the previous videos, we've only been talking about 7th chords in terms of relating it back to a major or minor scale. You know, what is the arrangement of 7th chords in a minor scale or a major scale, and what are the alterations of those chords? In this video, I want to show you how to figure out any 7th chord regardless of what scale it's related back to. So real quick, let's recap the differences between the 5 main 7th chords. So the first 7th chord we had was the major 7th chord, also known as a major 7th chord, because this is a major triad with a major 7th on top. Now, Sibelius likes to notate major 7ths as MAG or MAJ. That's totally fine. That's totally acceptable. I liked using a capital M, but I'll deal with it. Then what we had was the dominant or major minor 7th chord. So it looks the same, except there's a one note difference. The 7th up here, B, now becomes B flat. It's lowered. So this is a major triad with a minor 7th on top. And this is just denoted for C, it'd just be C7. So again, this is a dominant or major minor 7th chord. Next up is our minor 7th chord. So minor 7ths are a minor 7th chord, or a minor triad rather. So instead of C, E, G, we're gonna have C, E flat, G for C minor, with a minor 7th on top. So the 7th is going to be the same as the dominant 7th. So now we have C, E flat, G, B flat, and this is notated as C little m7. The next one up is the C half diminished 7th chord. And for this, we start with a diminished triad. So both the 3rd and the 5th are going to be lowered. So E becomes E flat, G becomes G flat, and the 7th is a minor 7th. So again, this is a diminished triad with a minor 7th on top. So the same 7th that we've had for the last two as well, but we've changed and lowered the 5th now as well. So for half diminished 7ths, the way it's notated is like this. You have your diminished symbol with a slash through it. So C half diminished 7th. And lastly, we have our fully diminished, or just diminished 7th chord, which is a diminished 7th, or diminished triad, so C, E flat, G flat, just like we started with before. But instead of a minor 7th on top, it's a diminished 7th on top. So let me just add the flats in here for this one. And this top note, instead of being B flat, is going to be B double flat. So let me just find my double flat symbol, and I'll add that in here. All right, so now let's create some 7th chords without relating them back to a specific scale or key. Let's start with D dominant 7th. Let's do D dominant 7th. And a dominant 7th chord is a major triad with a minor 7th on top. So we need to figure out a D major triad and then add a minor 7th to it. Now, one way to think about this is to think about the arrangement of minor and major thirds to make up triads. So major triads are a major third with a minor third stacked on top. Minor triads are minor thirds with a major third stacked on top. Diminished triads are minor and minor. Augmented's not going to matter here because there's no, well, I'm going to say there's none, but they're not really 7th chords if they have augmented triads in them, or at least they're very uncommon. So we're basically just going to be dealing with minor, major, or diminished triads for this. So a major triad on D is obviously going to start on D, so I'll put D here. A major third above D is going to be not F, but F sharp. So if you count up 4 semitones up the keyboard, you'll find that you land on F sharp. And then if you move up another semitone from there, or 3 semitones from there, you end up on A. So your major triad is D, F sharp, A. Then we're just going to add an additional 7th to the top. And what we can do is we can count on the keyboard up 10 to find a minor 7th. So let me pull out the keyboard here. So if we count up 10 semitones starting on D in the keyboard, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You'll see the note we land on is C on the keyboard. So the top note C here stays. We don't have to alter it at all. So this is a D dominant 7th chord. D7. Let's do another one. Let's do G major 7th. So let's start on G here. G major triad is just G, B, D. Add our 7th to it. Now, what we have is G, B, D, which is a major triad, and major 7ths or major 7th chords have a major 7th on the top. So the distance from G up to F needs to be 11 semitones. So if we count up 11 from G, we'll find that we actually end up on F sharp. So we need to change this F to F sharp. And there we go. Now we have G major 7th. All right, let's do another one. Let's do E fully diminished 7th. E fully diminished 7th. So an E minor chord is E, G, B. So to start off with the diminished chord, we have to lower the 5th. So instead of E, G, B, now we have E, G, B flat. So there's E diminished. Now we need to add a diminished 7th to the top. So if we count up 9 semitones, E up to D, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The note we land on is D flat or C sharp. We've already established that the 7th is a D, so we can't call it C sharp. We have to call it D flat. So a diminished 7th above E is D flat. So this is an E fully diminished 7th chord. Now if we wanted to do half diminished, the D would be D natural instead. All right, let's do one with a flat or sharp on the bottom. Let's do A flat. No, yeah, okay, let's do A flat. A flat's it's pretty dense in the flats, but we'll do it anyway. So ACE, let's do A flat half diminished 7th. ACE is A minor. So A flat, C flat, E flat is going to be A flat minor. Now we're gonna do half diminished 7th. So we need the starting triad to be a diminished triad. So in order to do that, we have to take the 5th and lower it one more time. So now we end up with A flat, C flat, and E double flat. That is an A flat diminished triad. That's a lot of flats. Let's add our 7th to the top here. So we also need a minor 7th above A flat to make this a half diminished 7th chord. So here's A flat. Let me count up 10 semitones. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The note that I land on is G flat. So let's take this G and let's make it G flat. And that is our A flat half diminished 7th chord. If this was fully diminished, we would have to take that G and make it double flat. If this were A flat minor 7th, we would take that E double flat and make it just an E flat. So this is A flat half diminished 7. And there we go. All right, let's do one more. Let's do one with sharps. Let's do F sharp. Let's start on F sharp here. Let's do F sharp dominant. F sharp dominant 7th chord. So F sharp, dominant chords start with major triads. So if FAC is a major triad, then F sharp, A sharp, C sharp is also a major triad. So we've got our major triad. We need to go 10 semitones from the bottom note to the top note to get a minor 7th for our major minor 7th chord. Now, a little trick with when you're counting up 10 and 11, instead of counting up 10, you can actually count backward 2 and get the same note. Instead of counting up 11, you can count back 1 and get the same note. And instead of counting up 9, you can count back 3 and get the same note. So this time, instead of counting up 10 from F sharp, I'm just going to count back 2. So F sharp's right here. 0, 1, 2. The note we land on is E natural, so it's already the correct chord. We don't have to do anything to it. So this is F sharp 7th. So that's how you can figure out any 7th chord, regardless of key or scale or whatever. All you have to know is your major and minor triads and diminished triads. Figure that out first, and then count up or count backward, like I just showed there, to figure out the 7th. So again, is it major, is it minor, or is it a diminished triad? And then is it a major 7th, a minor 7th, or a diminished 7th that you're stacking on top of that? In the next video, we will move on to modes. We'll talk about some of the different modes, how to create those modes, and writing modal music. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.